Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the stream. My name is Upmine, joined here by Hans. And yeah, we were having a little bit of technical difficulties in between the games, but hey, we're here, we're live, and we're about to get into one of the most pivotal games of this entire group stage. It's RIT and Washington State University. Washington State University coming into this one already at a 3-0, so they really don't have much to worry about standings, but RIT playing for their lives.
Yeah, RIT playing for their lives indeed. I'm pretty sure they will need to win these next back-to-back two in order to go 3-1 in their groups as well. And, you know, if that happens, we actually might even see a potential three-way 3-1 tie between Washington State, RIT, and Tennessee Tech.
I mean, I say that would be nuts, but again, RIT, we haven't seen that RIT. We haven't seen the CRL RIT. We haven't seen the EGFC regular season and playoffs RIT just yet. So I'm just waiting to see where that team is really laying about, because at the moment WSU, they're the ones picking them apart, and they already get a goal.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. RIT has definitely been a little bit off today because of the fact that, you know, they've had to make a few subs. Beando finally coming back in. You know, we spoke to Sunblaze earlier saying that Beando actually had to step out to be with his family, but now we have the beans and cheese combo out of Beando and Queso now. So I'm excited to see what they can do. Sunblaze now going to get control of this ball. Unfortunately, passing it straight to SpongeBob's waiting hands. Beando going to try to wrestle a little bit of control, but it really does feel like Washington State is in this driver's seat, and we have mentioned before that when RIT is down in goals, they definitely do not play at their best, and we've already said that they haven't been playing their best on the day, so this is not looking like a good situation for the side of Rochester to Technology. But proving me wrong there, unfortunately.
Well, first of all, I mean, I want to rewind a little bit. You called it the bean and cheese combo?
Beans and cheese, Beando and
Queso. Oh my god. I get it. That's, hey. Okay, all right, David, who came up with that one? Are you the funny man?
I think I am the funny man in this
case. Let's go. That's my David. That's my boy. All right, I get it. So RIT, they have some sauce, and they almost literally they have the sauce. They're gonna be getting themselves a second goal in this one, about a minute and a half in, and they're back in the lead.
Some would say some sun blazing sauce they have there, right? So a team fully equipped of food terms there. Going up now, finally taking an advantage. You know, we said that they didn't play well on the back foot, but they're able to wrestle control of this game back to themselves, and Washington State now looking to try to even up this game. 3 minutes left. What? You know, I feel like RIT may be returning to form a little bit.
Might just be, but again, we can't just call things out of game one, but it certainly looks like they have the potential for it. Let's see if they can actually capitalize on it, however, because here comes yet another attack from RIT. Ooh, good angle from Queso, my friend. And an even better pass from Beando. It's the bean and cheese combo again.
Yeah, and we saw a lot of these setup plays between the two of these guys in their first match that they played. Unfortunately, unable to close that one earlier against Tennessee Tech, but those matches were so close, and the scores that they made, beans and cheese pulling out the plays that they need to, and now RIT definitely learning from their plays before, want to keep this ball on this offensive side of the field, but I think Washington State knows that they need to play offensive themselves, and James gonna put it in the back of the net there.
So we do see the spark back from Washington State University. And we're just only halfway through our game, a very high-scoring affair thus far. But that's mainly because midfield isn't exactly as much of a jousting match that we've seen in the past couple of games. Seems like it's more of a no man's land that if you cross, then you start getting into the real dangerous territory with either a stacked attacking side or either a very stacked back line.
Yeah, for sure. And I definitely think that RT's feeling a lot more comfortable. Bindo going for a little bit of a flare there. Unfortunately, Sunblaze also commits to it while his teammate's already in the air. Gets that miss, and James looking to set up another play for the rest of his team. Gonna what a pinch! What a score!
I want to look back at this one again, because what was that from James? In traffic too. Might have been a little bit of help from the players on his front, but just the fact that James was able to control himself and actually intend to go for that kind of shot, that's insane. That is just insane. Take a bow, James. We have not seen that kind of spark from him in this entire day. And just when Washington State University might just need it the most, he wants to extend this one to a 4-0 in Washington State University. They're not complaining. They're going to get themselves a 4th goal.
What a fast-paced match this has been so far. Up and down, back and forth, and then just gets confirmed into the goal. No, we said that James hasn't been showing up too much, but B900 Cool has been showing up incredibly so far this day, and now giving them their lead in this first game.
Might be a lead. They had a lead earlier, but it wasn't a commanding one, that's for sure. But, oh boy, James, no! He was going for a very awkward angle on that clear, trying to get it over to the backboard, but couldn't get the full contact, and he almost literally just chaperones it in.
Yeah.
Because now it's 4-4.
Unfortunately, a little bit of a slide there, kind of delivering that, like you said, chaperoning that ball in. And God, these back and forth balls, 4-4 goal overall. This is looking very much like the Tennessee Tech RIT matchup that we saw earlier. Very close games, most likely just going to be a 1-point difference to decide this at the end of the day. But who's going to take it here? You know, RIT's definitely been cleaning up a little bit here, but I think Washington State has just been showing that they have been very dominant.
Oh, what a shot from Sunblaze! No one's gonna be in goal! Good shutdown! And I mean, that was purely just positioning from Sunblaze, and a poor clear from B900 Cool. Again, good attempts coming out from some of these teams, more or less in the back lines, but yeah, it gets a little bit risky there when you come in with a very low amount of boost and in an awkward angle. Players like Sunblaze, they're gonna be ready to punish that all day, every day.
And a punishment indeed. Now, 45 seconds left on the clock and a 1-score difference. This game has been just so fast scoring that I could definitely see this game going into overtime as a 5-5, and Washington State's going to definitely try to make that happen. James looking to set up a play for himself, and we've seen him make some big plays earlier today, but gets a pass to B900 in the air, ties the game up, 30 seconds left.
Hans, what game is this, by the way?
This is game 1. Honestly, I asked myself that too earlier on. You know, when I said game 1, I think the score is like 3-3. I was like, wow, this is so incredible. This is only the first game. Both teams showing up so well.
No! Oh, and a kickoff goal from RIT. We've seen it all. What even happened? So B900 Cool goes for it. James, no! That reaction from him was so late. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, we are playing with different servers here. We are playing in West servers because we see an East Coast team and a West Coast team, so that does come into play. But the player that missed out was James. He's the one with 40 ping. That was just a big whiff.
Yeah, a whiff is not something you want to see in those last few seconds of the game. I think RIT is just going to try to play a little bit of a keep away game here now. Trying to end this clock. 5 seconds, 4 seconds. Can Washington State do? B900 going to try to put it into the air for James. Unfortunately, Bindo is going to be the person in the front of the goal, off the wall, and Sunblaze keeps it away from SpongeBob. It looks like RIT is going to take game 1.
Great stuff. I mean, usually when I see a game like that, I'm just like, wow, unreal. But there's like a little corner in your heart that you're just like, you know what? This game is going to go the distance. This set is going to go down to like big, high-flying goals and things of the sort. So I'm just like, you know what? I just kind of want to sit back and kind of enjoy the show here, Hans, because I don't think we're going to get an opportunity like this to see these two go at it until maybe deep in playoffs. So let's see what happens here, ladies and gentlemen, as we are heading into game number 2 once again. And David, I don't really know what adjustments either team can make, but it seems like this high-scoring affair might just have to get limited very soon. What could be kind of the catalyst to that change?
I think that both teams have been playing offensively just incredibly well, just tightening up that defensive performance on both sides. You know, we've spoken earlier on in the stream that both teams are a little bit of a glass cannon. WSU gonna start the game immediately, 14 seconds in with a score from SpongeBob. Great little bit of a backflip there to make that play happen.
You sounded like SpongeBob there for a second there, Hans. Oh, it's all good. It's been a long day for you, huh?
It has been indeed. Oh my God, if I could put a little bit of food in my stomach, I would love to. But we got an exciting day of Rocket League, and SpongeBob again! What is this? He's coming out of Bikini Bottom making these plays happen.
You're hungry for Krabby Patties, my friend, and these players, they're hungry for pretty patties because these goals, oh, they're all so good. 30 seconds in, and it's already a 2-0 for Washington State.
Yeah, but this is a lead that Washington State had, you know, going into that game 1. Obviously not a 2-0, had that 1-0, but RIT was definitely able to come back from that. But we have seen historically, RIT is not a team that likes to play on that back foot. Sunblaze starts to kind of pull back a little more. It feels like the team overall starts to pull back a little more. Doesn't play to their true style of just go full offensive. Right now, Beando gonna try to get a setup here, but unfortunately, B900 already in the air. Great control of the ball overall. Sunblaze gonna try to make a defensive play, but SpongeBob, the playmaker of this game, man. Oh, I can't stop watching him.
No, you cannot, my friend. A hat trick within a minute. We haven't seen that in well, at least from what we've been paying attention to. That is a hat trick in a minute. That is not something that we've seen in EGF play thus yet. So some sort of stat book person is going to have to look into that, but I'll declare it that it's probably the fastest hat trick that we've seen all season. But this game's not over just yet, of course. 4 minutes left of Rocket League. You can score so many goals in that amount of time, and RIT, they're already starting to mount their little comeback.
Yeah, and comeback is how it starts every single time, and it's how Sunblaze started to bring it back in the last match overall, right? And honestly, if I'm a big Rocket League watcher myself, I want RIT to win this match, right? I want to see this triple 3-1 tie in Group 1 come alive. But, you know, WSU is going to try to be that one team coming out of this group to be undefeated. So they definitely want to hold that title.
Oh, surely. Surely they want to, but, again, Beando coming in hot. A minute and a half in, and I mean, Washington State University, they might close out the day 4-0. But again here, Hans, I mean, I don't really think that we're going to see any teams in these playoffs go 4-0, or, yeah, go 4-0. So I think at this point, Washington State University, especially with, you know, how much work RIT has done in the past couple of months, not just in EGFC play, but in overall Rocket League, I think we should expect a little bit of a W from them here. But that's what we've been saying all day. They've been losing to teams that are just significantly ranked lower than them.
Yeah, for sure. And I think both teams have the eye on the W here, especially that W key. Gonna just keep pushing forward. Beando trying to make a setup play here, and it looks like, you know, we saw a lot of beans and cheese. We've noted that duo has been doing really well, but a little bit less of setup plays here coming out of RIT. Definitely seems a little more shaky, but now on that offensive side of the field where they love and live so often, and that's ball 1, that's ball 2, but B900 able to save it and deny RIT this offensive push.
Half the game going by, and just from the start, if we were to kind of close our eyes and just kind of ignore what happened for the past 2 minutes, Washington State University, they have had quite the game purely off the back of SpongeBob's performance. But again, I'm going to pull out the trope that, you know, really every commentator has to pull out at some part of their lives, that I pretty much pull out almost every day of my life. This is Rocket League, my friend, and anything is possible in this game. And what we're seeing here is potentially one of those examples where, yes, you get a team that opens up with 3 goals, but we have 2 evenly matched teams that could just go back and forth. And we're not exactly seeing trades in terms of goals. We're just seeing RIT kind of wake up, close out a little bit on that defense, get a little bit more disciplined. But of course, rotations can be broken, and I'm just going to have to bite my words for a quick second here and take a bite of my Krabby Patty, because here we go again. SpongeBob taking it all the way to the bank, getting himself a 4th goal.
SpongeBob's play in this game has been so crisp. You may have saw that stat line earlier. 4 shots, 4 goals, not missing a single shot on the net. And Queso, knowing that threat is alive, immediately going for the demo on SpongeBob. He's just been such a threat here today overall. James now going to try to get that pass from SpongeBob, going up in the air, but Sunblaze already there. And B900 going to try to continue on this offensive push for Washington State, but you know, RIT, 1 minute remaining, has a 2-score differential. They have to make this play happen, otherwise Washington State's going to bring us to at least a game 4.
At least a game number 4. And again, David, just from kind of the length that we've seen from really every other game so far here on stream, I think that we should already be talking about game number 4, but we're still on game 2. This is just great Rocket League.
Yeah, great Rocket League. I feel like, you know, we both did that double take earlier. Is this still game 1? You know, this is just so impactful. You know, we've seen such slow games earlier on that it really did feel like each goal was just another 30 seconds ticked away. But great demo means that James is able to confirm this great assist from SpongeBob. He has just been so alive. Great bump on that wheel to pass to James.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I mean, it's... I was actually kind of scared there for a second, because it's fundamental shots like that players could potentially miss just off that deflection. So, like, a part of me was just like, James, don't do it. James, don't do it. James, don't do it. Yes, he ended up scoring, but that's just kind of the fun side of myself popping out, because this game's pretty much done and dusted. It's 5-2 going towards the side of Washington State University. And as we hit the buzzer, we have ourselves a 1-1.
1-1 indeed, and this is going to be something for the ages. It looks like, you know, since we do have 2 coast-to-coast teams, you know, we've been talking about how we do have to swap service. Since RIT is on the losing side this time around, they're electing to swap to that east side, so a little bit of a ping advantage there going back to them.
Yeah, to say the very least. Also, just story of that game, the reawakening of our boy SpongeBob, because we simply haven't seen him step up like that in terms of goals. He had 5 shots that game, and 4 of them were goals. I mean, that's 4 out of 5, and ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be throwing it over to a break as we head over to a different server. My name is Upmine, joined here by my boy Hans, and we'll see you guys for game number 3 very soon. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our broadcast, and it's game number 3 between the Rochester Institute of Technology and Washington State University, facing off for pretty much bracket supremacy, as we're looking at the 2nd and 3rd place teams thus far of this 5-man bracket. And like I mentioned before, the stakes are high and could mean playoff implications for either side.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if Washington State takes this, the only undefeated team then, and will be done on the day because they actually have a bye for that last round. So that means Washington State's going to be completely secure. But I'm also pretty sure that RIT, if they don't win this, Tennessee Tech is going to be up against UConn next. So, you know, going to be a little rough for them. But Sunblaze showing that they want to come back fighting. They want this spot for the weekend. They want to come out strong.
Right, absolutely. Also, yeah, I did flub that up at the very beginning. Washington State University ended up winning their game against Tennessee Tech, meaning that Washington State, they are actually in first at the moment, meaning that we're watching the 3rd and 1st place teams here on stream. Now, if I'm being completely honest, RIT needs this a whole heck of a lot more than Washington State. Because, I mean, just their last game alone against, you know, one of our top 3 in this group thus far was already enough to put them into playoffs. Pretty much put them into playoffs. But if they lose out here to RIT, and then the next game for Tennessee Tech equates into a potential 3-1, we're going to have a situation where we could have 3 teams in 3-1, like you mentioned earlier, David. What would be kind of the... what would be the flow chart for that? What would we actually base the tiebreaker off of?
I believe the difference would be game differential first, and then head-to-head. I might be a little bit wrong on that. Don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
Obviously, you know, a 3-0 win matters a little bit more than a 3-1 win in that case, and that's what the game differential comes from.
Yep.
Afterwards, we got that head-to-head. So, you know, if they're all tied, who did the best out of the 3? And then afterwards, then we may even play some tiebreaker games later tonight. So, you know,
who knows?
We could have a long day of Rocket League ahead of us, ladies and gentlemen.
Right, and the broadcasters for tonight, ladies and gentlemen, of course, it's been myself, it's been Hans here all night. We had FBI Tugboat chiming in. We had 2 students from RIT. I think it was Cub and Jay Rosif. And of course, shout outs to the 2nd stream that's going on at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys are wanting to watch a little bit more Rocket League, or maybe even just multi-stream, official EGF2 is the place to be for our 2nd stream. And later on, we're going to have RLCS commentator Axel Toss joining us in the broadcast.
Oh, and I'm very excited to have him here. Luckily, he was able to donate a little bit of his time for the broadcast here today. And he's going to be casting alongside you for the last 2 matches for this stream. So hopefully we get some pretty solid games in for him to cast, right?
Right.
But for now, 2.5 minutes left, 1-1. Not as an intense scoring game as we've seen in these previous games. SpongeBob, you know, we see him make a lot of these big plays, but unfortunately getting stopped by Bindo there.
Big shot from James is going to hit back wall. He has enough boost to take it in all by himself. Washington State University now up 2-1 as we just passed the half-minute mark. And, I mean, just what a play there from SpongeBob. SpongeBob, like I mentioned before, he has come alive finally in these last 2 games, and that's sort of an example of it. He didn't have much time to actually make it that high up in the arena, but great reactions from him and a great 50-50 pretty much mid-air is going to give his team the breakaway goal. Now with, again, 2 minutes left, Washington State University kind of gelling together. Might be better than before in a sense. I mean, we've seen closer games from Washington State University, and all of these goals, they just seem super fundamental.
Yeah, super fundamental indeed, and sometimes that's just all you need. Play to your roots, but that challenge in the air, bouncing right off the crossbar. And with that forward momentum, it does get confirmed. Great play from Sunblaze there, just a little bit higher than SpongeBob on that challenge. Now, going into the last half of this game, 2-2, very much so the tale of this game. It's just been so even between Washington State and RIT, and it really makes me wonder, had we seen games like this earlier on before we power ranked them, right, I'd really put Tennessee Tech, RIT, and Washington State so close together. They've just been playing all so phenomenal against each other. Now 2-2. Washington State gonna try to make something happen, gonna make that block happen. B900 gonna try to take it out a little bit. Passes to the waiting arm, just wondering about, but RIT gonna keep up this offensive pressure.
Yeah, here's the thing with power rankings. Yes, power rankings are more or less it's just a proprietary thing that that EGF, that us at the commentators and a couple of admins at EGF ended up doing, and they don't exactly affect the groups, if I'm being completely honest. Yes, of course, we have to dictate the group somehow, but it wasn't off of those power rankings. You have to judge region, you have to judge if these teams have played each other yet. If they're from the same group, teams from the same group can't play against each other in these groups either. So there's a lot of, aspects that that ended up seeding these teams up against each other in these groups. So, the power rankings, as much as they've changed in our view, we didn't exactly see a showcase from a lot of these teams. So, the power rankings, yes, they're changing, but ladies and gentlemen, let's see if RIT can keep up their momentum as that second place team, because here we go. Ball is going to hit the floor, and we have overtime.
Overtime indeed, and with how even these games have been going, this has been the lowest scoring one. I think that both these teams are now just taking the slow, methodical
that was an
approach.
Open shot.
So close indeed for Beandu, but gonna get a pass back. Open straight to Beandu. Gets the shot to Sunblaze in the air, and so close again. It feels like RIT shots are so close indeed.
Dude, I'm freaking out here, David. Dude, I can't believe that went in. This is the goal that goes in. All of the shots coming in from midair. And James, did he not have boost?
Doesn't look like it.
Oh my god, and he stopped right before the post too. So yeah, I don't know what to tell you, David. I mean, I'm looking at all these plays. I'm just like, you know what? I don't exactly expect, this ball to go in, something of the sort, but it might as well. And then it's so close, has me on the edge of my seat, and then it just doesn't go in. So then I'm just really disappointed with myself. I'm just like, man, I really wish that went in. And then a goal that we don't expect to go in, like a shot at the end, just a little beamer over to the bottom left. But hey, ladies and gentlemen, it happens. RIT. There is an ideology in some esports that simply is, we take those, David. And RIT, they're going to be moving on to Game 4 with that.
Yeah, we definitely take those indeed. And now, we got another server flip-flop because Washington State now on the losing end of that. Going back to the West Coast side of things, and looks like we're getting almost set up here. So, getting right underway. RIT now up 2-1, definitely in a spot where they like to be. Match point for them, right? Very confident here, I think, and looking for one win in these next two games for the side of RIT.
All right, absolutely, and it seems like both teams are essentially ready. So, David, let's already send it back into the game.
Yeah, it's sending it straight back. And honestly, if I'm the side of Washington State, I want to be the guys that say like, hey, we were able to take one team down. Yep, we were able to take a team down that is considered one of the top seeds in B900, already immediately coming in with that score. Gonna just put it in the back of the net, showing that Washington State is here to fight. They want to take this to a Game 5. 3 seconds in, that score, that shot, fantastic. And now, immediately going to start this kickoff for the second ball. James gonna push this ball up the field, down and around, and B900 already there on the assist. Sunblaze, I think the air control coming out of RIT here so far today has been just oh so great. And James gonna try to make another play happen. Oh my god, Sunblaze in the nick of time gonna be able to save that. A lot of these balls getting put just right in front of the goal, not much able to be handled in terms of how they're going to be defending it. But I think that, I mentioned earlier, these teams need to do better on these defensive plays, and it really has been showing in these last couple of games. You know, last game was definitely a lower scoring game because both of these teams' defensive rotations have been just so much higher. B900 Cool. Wow, that challenge in the air was just so interesting to watch. How, oh, it was James and B900 together making that play, bouncing it just right over Bean. And now Washington State, a 2-0 lead. They've been on that 2-0 lead for a bit for these last two games.
All right, Twy is back. So, David, what did I miss?
A little bit of a couple scores from Washington. They come out of the gate swinging for this first minute, and now B900 trying to make another play happen, but no, not much going on. I think I want to see a little bit more coming out of SpongeBob. He's been not showing up as much in this game compared to one of the other ones we saw earlier.
Yeah, I mean, it's still pretty early, so I'm not going to dock any points away from him, and also his team is popping off, so yeah, sure. SpongeBob hasn't had the opportunities to actually execute, but again, I was even thinking about this earlier, because I do play a little bit of semi-professional Counter-Strike. What if I were to just join a team that's just significantly better than me, and I never do anything, but we still win anyways? That still counts as a dub. As much as I didn't do anything, still is a dub.
Yeah. And just like you said earlier, we take those.
Right.
Russ, we definitely do. And Bean trying to set up another play, but God, they've just been losing it a little bit on these corners in the back end of the opponent's side. A little bit tough for Beans and Cheese to set this up, but Queso, as soon as I say it, Beans and Cheese delivers.
Really does, and maybe a side order or BM here, because in comes Beando, and B900 Cool. He had a full opportunity there to get that ball away. So, there's a thought in the back of his mind there. He's just like, man, I had that. Man, I had that. But Beans and Cheese, they don't care. They're going to take that all the way to the bank. And 2:40 left in this game, and we finally get a goal back from RIT. But already a play from Sunblaze going forward. James, good play. Good toss-up, but it was a little bit off kilter. But I am liking this formation from WSU now. They have an anchor over to the attacking side sometimes.
Yeah, having that offensive anchor can be really crucial for either side, right? And now RIT has 2 minutes still left in the time bank. Gets a good demolition on James, looking to set something up. Oh my God, almost dodges a couple defenders for Bean, but SpongeBob there to save the day. B900 going for a ceiling play, but into the waiting arms of Beando.
Okay, Sunblaze tries to go for a shot, but instead he hits the car. And now Queso coming on back. Over towards the corner, has to go into 50-50 against B900 Cool. Beando over to the middle. Big pass over to Sunblaze, but it's a big bouncer. Can't do much about that. Now 140. Queso still following, same thing with Beando. Beando takes it back, and B900 sends it back also. Just ping-ponging here, like I mentioned before, David.
Yeah, and you know, I think the more this match has progressed, this game has just slowed down. These teams have learned each other so well, and you know, we started with these 10 goal matches, games between these two, and now we're slowing it down to a 2, 3, maybe even just 4-point total. 1 minute left on the clock here, though. RIT wants to keep the dream alive. Obviously, they do have another game if Washington State wins this, but they would rather close it out here.
Oh, big shot. James gonna clear. 50 seconds left. We might just get the good old-fashioned Game 5 here, David. And I mean, I really don't know how we would even react to it, because I mean, we were talking about earlier, oh my God, there's an opportunity for a reverse 3-0. We haven't seen it yet on stream, but it just could happen. It just could happen. SpongeBob takes back another goal. That's his second shot of the day and his first goal in the game. And there you go. Washington State University, they put themselves up 2-0 over RIT.
Yeah, and that 2-point lead is not something to scoff at. It puts so much pressure on RIT. RIT most likely going to have to try to reset for this next game, but you know, if they can make one goal happen within these next few seconds, they could even tie this game back up, but SpongeBob looking to take control of this ball. Keep playing a little bit of keep away here, and that's definitely his main goal.
Yeah, it was perfect. He crunched a lot of time off of this clock, so even if there was a goal right there and SpongeBob actually didn't go back and get that save, there probably still would have been a WSU W at the end there, but now it's confirmed. 0 seconds on the clock, ladies and gentlemen. It's over. WSU, they're going to tie things up at 2-2, and we have the almighty game number 5 up on deck.
Yeah, and, you know, a little bit of a flip-flop back and forth between each match. You know, if this continues this trend, right? RIT won game 1, RIT won game 3. Does this mean they win game 5?
Yeah. I mean, assuming that we're going by that pattern, yes, sir. But I mean, is it gonna happen? Is it though? I'm holding on to the edge of my seat, sir. So I mean, let's see what happens. Game number 5 coming up next, ladies and gentlemen. Again, we are gonna switch over the servers, and we'll be right back with game number 5 between RIT and WSU.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Unfortunately, I'm a little bit of a solo caster right now, but we have this last game between RIT and Washington State University. Gonna be a barn burner for sure. Out a little bit there, my fault, guys. But for now, Washington State gonna try to control this ball. Unfortunately, RIT is already coming out swinging, and this is definitely a thing of, you know, a game style that we're used to coming out of this RIT squad, right? Very offensive heavy, and Beando already going to make a score happen with this offensive pressure. The beans and cheese combo. You know, we didn't see them as much going into this last game, but looking alive at the start of this one for sure. Yeah, and now a little bit over 30 seconds off the clock here. Beans and Cheese and Mr. Sunblaze looking to kind of confirm the rest of this match. Looking to try to take this one home for the RIT squad, right? But it looks it's looking more difficult by the minute. You know, we saw that these last few games have been a little bit slower pace overall, and now it looks like the side of RIT is going to play a little bit slower, going to be a little more methodical. Unfortunately, that ball crossed the front of the goal, but Sunblaze was not able to find that and confirm it. And now Bindo going to try to make something happen. B900 puts the ball into the air. Bindo already there to intercept, and he's going to look to drive this one, and it looks to go in. Bindo, fantastic play off the ceiling here. You're going to watch that again. Just a great setup for him, knowing that this goal is wide open, gets the pinch off at the end just to make it look a little stylish, confirms it, and now 2-0 up. At 1.5 minutes in, RIT really looking to close this game. And it looks like between what we've seen so far, damn, this server has really started to matter for these two teams. RIT putting a third one in, 3.5 minutes left on this clock. Absolutely fantastic play for RIT. This is one of the biggest leads that we've seen them hold in this series so far. And now 3.5 minutes left, like I mentioned. We are going into about halfway through the match. And for sure, now we're looking at Sunblaze trying to set up another goal. Queso there to confirm as well. Oh my god. RIT truly showing themselves to be that glass cannon. They're finding themselves a lot more comfortable this round. 3 minutes left on the clock. 4-2-0. It's going to be tough overall. Now 3 minutes left on the clock, as I mentioned, and God, how does Washington State come back from that? It seems like they felt a little bit more comfortable. I definitely want to see SpongeBob come out of the pocket more. It seems that RIT has just been able to put on the aggression that they love to play on, and Washington State just needs to bring it onto their side of the field and just keep playing offensively themselves. Right, RIT does not play well on the defensive side, and just absolutely fantastic play from them in this game 5 when it matters the most. 4-0 lead now on the halfway point of this last game. It's just going to be so tough for Washington State to come back from this. Now B900 going to try to look to control this ball, but one great demo onto Sunblaze means that Washington State now has an opening. SpongeBob looking to set up to B900 in midfield, but he's just going to miss the ball just under. And that's an open net for RIT. RIT is going to try to make this play, but nothing doing. Sunblaze passing it up to center. Queso already there. And it looks like Bindo is going to try to confirm it, but just going to pass between the left and right side of this field over and over. And now RIT going to look to this reset a little bit here. Pick up some more boost. Look to control this play. Going to bring this ball out yet again. Washington State's just having a really tough time bringing the ball out of their own side of the field. B900 looking to set up a play here, but challenged by Bindo and Sunblaze. They have just been everywhere now, and RIT finally looking to be at the peak of their form. Want to make this go at least 3-1 for them, so they are able to take this to another game. Sunblaze gonna go for the save there. Absolutely fantastic save coming in at the last second. And oh my god, with this time ticking down, it's just looking tougher and tougher for Washington State to seal up this game. B900 not letting that guillotine play go through, but Queso already there to make it happen. Sunblaze off the top crossbar. Bindo also there. And god, 5-2-0 now for the side of RIT. Now, 1 minute left on the clock. WSU just looking to play on this back foot. Sometimes the back foot's not too bad when it's just a 1-score differential, but this 5-score differential from RIT makes it just so tough for them to come back. RIT showing such a dominant play overall in this last game. SpongeBob finally putting a score on the board here for the side of Washington State University, but with 47 seconds left on the clock, it may just be a little too late here.
David, I just
Yes,
want to
sir.
say that your killing it. You're absolutely killing it. Ladies and gentlemen, just had a little emergency here on my side, and we are good. We are totally fine, and but you know who's not totally fine at the moment, David? It's this Washington State University team. They're gonna be fine in terms of the bracket, you know, potentially. Their destiny is out of their hands, but they've at least done what they could to just keep themselves in a pretty reliable spot. But like we mentioned before, there could be the possibility of a three-way 3-1 record by the end of this group stage, and this one is almost literally over. It's 5-1 going towards the side of RIT. Beautiful goals coming in from RIT period. I mean, not just beautiful goals, but good fundamental plays. I saw a lot of counterattacks, and man, really unfortunate from Washington State that they're going to be, you know, kind of fizzling out in this last state, or in this last stage in this state. But shoutouts to our boys here in RIT. They're going to be confirming up one more game, and if I'm not mistaken, that is it for our boys here in Washington State for the rest of the night.
Yeah, they do have this last round bye. Obviously, since there are 5 teams in each round in this round robin, it means that kind of every 2 games,
Right.
one team gets a bye. So Washington State now done their 4 games of the day. Congratulations, they are 3-1 on the day, losing their 1 match to RIT. And we kind of see a little bit of a triangle on the day, right? Washington State beats Tennessee Tech, Tennessee Tech beats RIT, RIT beats Washington State. So one of the big ways that this group gets to tie up, right? So now we're going to cut to a quick break. We have next UConn versus Marquette. So don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on back to the stream. My name is UpMine, joined here by my man, David Chen. And up next, we got UConn versus Marquette University. And, David, it does look like we're going to have to reset our server very soon. But, hey, that also gives us a little bit more time for us to talk about the standings. So let's go over to our other screen where I do have all of that info for you guys. So you guys are looking at live standings as we head into the last game of our third rotation of games. Washington State University currently at the top at not 3-0, ladies and gentlemen. That does need to be fixed. That is actually a 3-1. There you go. quick edit. And then Tennessee Tech 2-1, Rochester Institution of Technology 2-1. UConn and Marquette University going at it in this one. They're currently both 0-2. Now, David, kind of talking about the implications of this match, period. UConn and Marquette, whoever loses this one, they are definitively out of this tournament.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, looking at the standings overall, they're both sitting at the no wins spot, right?
Right.
And Marquette both will have to win these next two if they even want a chance. But, with Washington State sitting pretty and at that 3-1 spot, and Tennessee Tech looking to contest UConn for that last game, it's going to be really tough for both these teams to even make that last spot.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And, I mean, Marquette, this is probably the craziest thing, David, that we just haven't mentioned. Ladies and gentlemen, there are 9 groups in the entirety of the EGFC Power Series, and of course it has been restricted down to only 4. Out of the 9 groups, ladies and gentlemen, 4 of those groups, the number 1 seeds from those groups, is in this group alone. That just goes to show how much judging actually seriously matters in a tournament like this, where you have UConn coming in. Yes, they came in second in their group, but they're still going toe-to-toe against some of these first seeds. Marquette, they went insane in the Big East group. Big East group having so many heavy hitters in that group, especially near the top. And then they come here and they fizzle out at 0-2. So, Marquette, they definitely still have a lot of work to do. UConn, the same thing. They have a lot to prove. And the rest of the bracket, however, Tennessee Tech and Rochester Institution of Technology, they've already faced off. Didn't unfortunately go the way of RIT, but both of these teams have an opportunity to have themselves a pretty weird tiebreaker going forward.
Yeah, for sure. And now, God, UConn and Marquette looking to battle just to not be in this last place spot, right? Basically at this point, it's going to be a little tough for either of them to try to come back in this bracket. And like you mentioned, they just have really tough opponents. All of these players, all of these teams being either first or second seed in their groups means that it's just tough for them overall. You just have such high caliber of teams in your bracket. Overall, it's not a great group to be in, but JFG gonna try to make this happen for the side of Marquette. Great setup there from Ops off the corner. Gives it right to JFG's waiting hands.
Yeah, that L2 button, that back left button that most people use for the reverse, that is a Rocket League player's worst enemy. You cannot be pressing reverse there in that sort of situation, because reversing in Rocket League is probably one of the worst last-ditch efforts things to do. Surely it can get you, in a pretty good position in certain movement type positions or movement type scenarios, but in that situation, you're just trying to get back in goal when a ball is just flying already right towards you. It's very unfortunate. And now Marquette, they're already going to spill over a couple of goals for their side. It's 2-0 right before we reach the halfway mark of this game.
Yeah, 2-0 is going to be a pretty tough situation for UConn to try to come back already. But, we still have almost 3 minutes left on this clock. Looks like UConn, they were able to adapt to a lot of their opponents really quickly in previous sets, right? They're able to take a game off RIT and adapt to Washington State very, very well. So I think that, given some time in this, UConn is one of those teams that can adapt in the long term of this set. But for now,
oh, I was about to say the Bear Grylls little the Bear Grylls tagline, you know, adapt, overcome. And I don't know if we're gonna see the last part of it, which is you know, I think it's succeed if I'm not mistaken, because UConn, they haven't exactly had too much success in this day period. But Hans, you've been watching throughout this day. You know, UConn, they've been close in some of these games, correct?
Yeah, they definitely have. They gave RIT a little bit of a run for their money. Obviously, they started their set a little weaker, but you know, they had a 4-1 game against RIT, which can be quite impactful. You know, can lift the spirits a little bit, right? And that was their last game that they played. So against Marquette, I want to see them adapt and overcome, like you mentioned. And if they can, they will potentially start walking down that road to success. But for now, Sherpa gonna look to get a pass on Disaster. But God, Ops is really not letting this happen overall.
$1:15 left on the clock. UConn just desperately trying to clear out this one, but oh man, I kind of like this from Marquette. They're swarming this midfield like, oh my God, like a swarm of hornets, my friend, and it looks so scary. All three of them lining up, and the fact that Nito Burrito actually scored off of this angle and in this fashion is just so impressive to me. Didn't even need a teammate to bump it on in. That was just a sick one there from Nito Burrito. No, it's a 3-0.
Yeah, a sick one indeed. A minute left on the clock here for both sides, and it's looking a little tough for UConn. Obviously, they were down in some of their early games against RIT as well, so you know, as long as they're able to make these quick adaptations. But Marquette looking to be a very dominant team here against them. They have that 3-0 lead, and it's going to be so tough for the UConn side to score. You know, 1 goal every 10 seconds coming on this 30-second mark left on the clock. Ops has just been playing incredibly well. Nito Burrito gonna pass to Ops just to kind of run that time down a little bit, knowing that if they can play this keep away game, UConn is not going to be able to score.
Yeah, this one's certainly over. Ball's going to be cleared out, and 15 seconds left. 3 goals to make it on back. Obviously, not going to be a too much of a possibility, even in the good old Rocket League trope of you know, anything is possible. And ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be our game with Marquette taking it 3-0 for now. Now, just kind of talking about Marquette's day thus far. It's been very disappointing, huh, David?
Yeah, it has been a little disappointing, but you know, we mentioned UConn's record earlier. Marquette actually has had a pretty solid record overall. 1 game against Tennessee Tech that they took, 2 games against Washington State. So they're able to at least try to contest some of these powerhouse teams that are in this Group 1. So very exciting to see overall that they can make these scores happen. So now Marquette now going into this game 2. What does UConn have to change in order for them to start coming back?
Man, that's a great question, because if I'm being completely honest, I don't know how to mold this certain UConn squad to face off against Marquette. Now, I could give them some broad tips, such as, hey, I mean, you know, rotations have to be better. Sure. Maybe some more midfield presence. Sure. But I think the best thing that they can do is just pull a full focus on defense. Again, pulling out, for the 3rd time in this game, by the way, the sorry trope of this is Rocket League. If you put all of your players over onto the defensive side, or you at least want to, you know, play heavy counterattack, it's 0-0. The game starts off, 5 minutes left, 0-0. You get a mental reset. And David, I don't know about you, man, but there still is a chance for UConn in this set if they could just hold off Marquette to some sort of clean sheet.
Yeah, for sure. I would have to agree with you, but right now it looks like a very even game between the two. UConn's starting to adapt, like we mentioned earlier on, but Marquette just having some pretty clean rotations. Nito Burrito putting it up to the crossbar, but a little bit off. Ops also a little bit off there in order to try to get another shot onto the goal. And looks like they're just going to rotate back, get this ball in control on their defensive side, and start pushing it out again. Disaster not going to try to let that happen, though. Ops in the air, getting a ceiling pass straight to Ackman. Ackman going for a shot attempt, but Disaster in the air. Bounces it back a little bit, unfortunately, but Ops gonna try to take it out. Marquette, they've just been playing pretty offensively this whole game so far.
To say the least. Certainly switched up their tempo from the last one. And okay, I like this rotation. I like it. Disaster going back on the front lines, and you just kind of see a one-man breakaway. So I mean, first of all, we were mentioning Haikyuu earlier. The full man approach forward, but you know when everyone goes up for a spike and only a singular person actually has to go for the spike? That's almost exactly what we saw right there from UConn. Everyone's setting up for it, everyone's setting up for a counterattack, but in the end, two of those players, they're going to go fake back over to the defensive side, and only a singular person is going to go to the actual goal and try to see what he can work out with a single player over to center, seeing if he could collect that ball back. Now, that plan does end up breaking apart, though. Marquette, they bring back the ball, and there goes a whiff, giving Marquette the goal. But, David, you were onto something earlier.
Yeah, and you know what? UConn really kind of showing up. You said that I was onto something earlier, but Marquette, oh my God, they're really keeping this pressure on and alive. And, flirting with the goal there just a little bit. Marquette gonna try to keep this offensive pressure up. And, my God, I think UConn feels a little bit more comfortable in the air the more that I've seen this game, and I want to see them go up for this ball just a little bit more.
Just a little teensy tiny bit more. And okay, we're seeing demos. In all of our games thus far in this little second half of the stream, we haven't seen demos. We haven't seen that sort of aspect come into play. And even boost play has been scarce in between either one of these sides. So no quote-unquote underhanded tactics, although they're perfectly feasible. UConn, they might just need to pull out that trap card if they want to keep things even against Marquette.
Yeah, trap card indeed for them, but not much of a trap if you can't set up something good. But UConn set up something beautiful there right off the backboard. Disaster delivers it straight to Ackman and his waiting hands. Those Marquette players already committed to there, unable to defend that. Now, UConn finally on the board here.
And a good time at that. I mean, great play from Ackman on the front lines too, holding off the goal. I mean, even playing around with it on the backboard, leading his teammate up for the goal. So I mean. Or I'm sorry, it was the Disaster pulling that play. So I think at this point, UConn playing with a little bit more confidence, at least in that play. They've been playing defensively this entire time, and they find a singular window of opportunity, and they strike. That's almost exactly what you need to do against a team like Marquette, who has just been full tempo the entire time. They've been the ones setting it. Oh, look at this! Again, one of those quote-unquote singular opportunities with Disaster actually on the front lines, covering things. And now here we go again. It's going to be Chirpa! Essentially out of nowhere. Both JFG and Obs going up for that ball. And even then, Chirpa able to slide it on in into the smallest of gaps. And that's 45 seconds left in our game. And UConn with a potential to tie things up at 1-1.
Yeah, and 45 seconds left. That one-to-one tie looking very, very close. That one-to-one. It's been a long day up mine. Sorry about that.
No. Yeah, no, I know. I give you full respect for that.
Yeah, 30 seconds left means that UConn most likely going to try to take this to 1-1. And, we've mentioned earlier that this game really does, these match really does matter for both sides. They do need this in order to even be in consideration for the rest of the day, Marquette and UConn here. But Ops is going to try to look for a play, gets a corner shot in, and makes it. I really did not expect it to go in, honestly.
Didn't expect it to go in, but look at that little play there from JFG, getting all of the bumps in. He gets 1, couldn't get the second, but that was still the distraction that this team needed. And now Marquette, they found themselves a little bit back in the driver's seat off of that very cocky play from JFG. And now Chirpa, oh no, what's this? He has to let it out right in front of him, but the orange team, they're not exactly ready for it. But here comes yet another one. JFG blasted towards the goal, but it's going to hit the ground before he can even get there. And ladies and gentlemen, we have overtime.
Oh my god, that ball right in front of the goal at that 0 seconds. Unfortunately, touching the ground right there. That could have been a score, but at that 0 seconds left, obviously it does reset us into overtime. JFG had a shot going on, but it crosses that center of the goal without any of his teammates being there to confirm a disaster. Coming off the top ropes, going over the goal, and the rest of his team just isn't there. Such great setup plays from both teams, but just no teammates being able to confirm that goal.
Oh no! Hackman comes on in flying off of that one bump from Nito Burrito. But wait, I didn't even realize this. Yes, it was Chirpa that got that pass over the middle. So in the end, it's fortunate. UConn, they tie things up at 1-1. I'm not going to say that they're doing the impossible, because it's not exactly impossible. But UConn bring it back 1-1.
Yeah, and overall, what a game from both sides, honestly. Marquette playing just so well overall, but UConn just playing it a little bit better, right? And this is just that long-term, like we mentioned, that adaptation that can happen over the course of a best of 5, right? In that sense that since you're playing the same opponent over and over for at least 3 games, you should take the time to learn. You should take the time to understand the minutia of how each of these members plays, and UConn has just been doing a fantastic job of that.
Absolutely. So moving forward, UConn taking a little bit of my advice earlier, playing a little bit more of a defensive type strategy, but again, I did mention that they would have to clean things up a little bit more on the midfield, and not only did they do that, but they passed that test with flying colors, I would have to say. And at least in that play period, you already had to stop over the mid. You had to play over the mid from Chirpa off the wall. Where did this UConn come from? I'm flabbergasted here, David, because now UConn, they put themselves in the lead for once.
Yeah, and you know, we talk about how some of these other teams, they're not really the most comfortable playing on the back foot. I think UConn just doesn't have a really comfortable game 1 most of the time, but
oh boy,
Ops is going to tie this game up instantly, not even 30 seconds into this game.
So 20 seconds, man. 2 goals in 20 seconds, one of them going towards each side. And David, you asked me this question before, but now I'm going to ask the same question to you about Marquette. What exactly can Marquette change to make things a little bit more dominant on their side?
It really just feels like Marquette has become a little bit out of sync. They really cannot handle too much of this offensive play from UConn. UConn finally getting into their groove, right? So I want Marquette to kind of just play their offensive rotation a little bit better. They've been able to make these plays going in and pass it onto the UConn side of the field, but they just haven't been able to follow up. We mentioned earlier that, you know, a lot of the teams, they got some great setup plays, but no follow-up. It seems that, like, Ops is a little bit of a one-man army for the side of Marquette, too.
Yeah, it might just be. I mean, I've been praising Ops for his play, at least as a sniper, living up to his name, the Ops from both Valorant and CSGO, and I mean, he has been more or less a catalyst for this team in terms of goal scoring, but you still have players like JFG who have overall been amazing in terms of individual scoring, and you still have Nito Burrito, who has been pretty much lights out in terms of support plays and being an incredibly pivotal rotation piece. But again, going back to that Ops point, he's been the main goal scorer from this squad, and he needs to step up just a little bit more. And the same thing with the rest of his team. You have to be an absolute unit to try to take away a playoff spot now, and it doesn't seem like Marquette is not exactly too accustomed to it just yet. But it's going to be goals like those that can certainly help out your confidence as coast-to-coast JFG just sends it forward, and actually a little bit of crossbar action to make it in.
Yeah, that coast-to-coast definitely not a score that you want to see coming out of the side of UConn. This means that you just had not many players shifted back enough to make this happen. UConn, Chirpa already going to get a demo on Ops, one of those star players that we mentioned earlier. And it means that UConn might have a good time bringing this ball in. Unfortunately, Ops has already respawned. And now they have all 3 players on Marquette on the side of their defense. It feels like a lot of the time they just kind of get crossed up here at this defense, at this net. And UConn is just able to dictate how the game is played right there. And unfortunately, at that point, if that's that close to your net, it can just mean scores, right? So, Disaster looking to try to make another one of these plays happen off the corner, looking for a teammate to set up in the center. Chirpy just a little too low. Disaster shooting that just over the goal. Too high, unfortunately.
Uh-oh, ball still coming back, however. Ackman fighting for it midair with Ops. Disaster on a little bit of a counterattack, and a great demo from Chirpa onto Nito Burrito, but a great clear. Great wing-to-wing clear from JFG. That's actually going to give his teammate enough time to get back on the field and get himself a boost. So good stuff. Good heads-up play, but there's still a lot more work to be done. Now this ball is just going back and forth here on the orange side. Ackman still in the middle, just trying to go as more or less a one-man army. And speaking of one-man armies, Nita Burrito takes it all the way forward, and a second tap towards the backboard gives his team an opportunity.
Yeah, and now we've gone just over a minute, I believe. Just a non-scoring game. It's just feeling a little slow now for both sides. But it's just looks like great control of the ball, but also a little bit of a ping pong. And each time this ball goes all the way across the field, you know, you're knocking another 3 seconds off the clock. And GFG looking to set something up here, just over Ackman's head, unfortunately hitting a crossbar. Nito Burrito in the goal to set it up and close it now. Marquette taking a lead, 3-2.
Great stuff from Marquette. Whoa, Disaster. I see you in chat saying okay. What's the okay for? Is he about to go Super Saiyan here, Hans?
Unfortunately not able to touch the ball, so not looking like much of a Super Saiyan right now. But he gets that 100 boost, trying to make a play, but GFG just ripping it out of his hands immediately. Marquette now playing in front of the goal, but UConn staying calm and collected, able to control the ball, get an offensive play, but Ops already there to receive it. Maybe he can get a crossfield shot of his own, but unfortunately a little too high. Getting a few backboard bounces off to the side of Marquette. GFG looking for a play. His teammates are there past center, but Ops is now a little overcommitted on the offensive side. Nito Burrito going to shoot him a ball, but he's facing this wrong direction. 45 seconds left on the clock. It's going to be pretty tough for either of these teams to try to make something happen. So little time.
Right, absolutely. Marquette, they're probably not going to be able to score off of this, but as UConn start opening up that defense and they start putting on a little bit more pressure to the attacking side, we could see the quote-unquote nail in the coffin. David, I'm an absolute psychic. 20 seconds left into this game, and that's a 4th goal right as I end my sentence. Marquette, they're going to win this game, and, I mean, UConn, lots of work to be done, but we've seen it before.
Yeah, just a clean pass off the top ropes there from Ops, right into the hands of JFG. Great confirmed goal there. 2 goal difference. Like you said, it's going to be very tough for UConn to come back. Theoretically possible, but very, very unlikely, unfortunately. 9 seconds, 8 seconds left on this clock. UConn just going to try to keep this ball in the air, but 2-1 now. It looks like the game is going to be going to the side of Marquette now. 2-1 now overall in the match.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And so now, David, I think at this point, you know, we were thinking about this earlier. Marquette, good regular season, right? And then UConn, they scrapped up some W's, right? In their regular season. They were in a group with pretty much a very personal rival of theirs in their school in terms of Syracuse. And now coming into playoffs, they don't exactly show kind of that same spark in them. What's exactly going to be kind of the kick in the butt for them because, I mean, if you're standing right behind them, if you're the coach for this UConn team, what kind of motivation would you actually give UConn in this scenario?
I mean, I think this game is a kick in the butt enough as it is, right? Marquette is still making some great plays on you right now. You just have to learn how to kind of keep this game in your own possession, right? They have a lot to learn from this game, I think, and one of the big things is going to be that kick in the pants that they do need, like you said. Marquette really trying to deliver that here.
Well, ooh, that's a weird one there. Disaster actually wins out that 1v2, and there's still going to be yet another shot. Great save from Ops, and now it's a counterattack. JFG going up in the air, just trying to take it forward, right back forward. And then Ops, same thing, and what a save from Chirpa! And Nito Burrito comes in flying too. The Uno reverse card from Nito Burrito after a 6 save. And 45 seconds in, Marquette could have themselves their set-winning goal.
Yeah, 45 seconds in for sure, but you know, it is really still anybody's game. Like Tugboat said, although he's not with us, lead of 1 is not a lead indeed. So JFG gonna try to make this lead a little bit bigger. Nito Burrito's following it up there, but unfortunately, Disaster going to be able to stay out. JFG getting a demolition on his way out, though, means that they're just going to be able to make this offensive transition back again after recovering a little bit. Scoots it past 2 defenders, but going back towards his side of the board, means that Chirpa is going to be able to get a demo. Nito. Disaster going up in the air for it, puts it into the corner to Ackman, but doesn't ride that wall to center, means that unable to set up a great ball for him. JFG gonna take that ball back out to Nito Burrito, but he misses it just by a hair. Marquette looking to just kind of close the game from here, like you mentioned, Upmind.
Oh, yes, sir. So let's see if it happens, however, as you have Chirpa on the front lines. Can't exactly get himself that goal. Ackman trying to attack. And he also misses wide, and now here comes the counterattack. Disaster has to collect that boost. Great awareness as he picks up the boost and immediately throws it back. But you still have JFG in the front lines as more or less an anchor, trying to find himself a little bit of that enemy boost, but certainly couldn't find any of it. Midfield is starting to become a little dangerous here for UConn, and I like that from JFG. A little bit of a heads-up play, a last-second reaction to readjust himself right in front of the goal. Still some more time for both of these teams to act. You have Ackman fighting for this one with 3. Beautiful stuff from Ackman. Going in towards goal onto Nito Burrito. He beats 2 players, and he beats the last one by getting himself the demo. But Nito Burrito does himself an even better job of just clearing that one out and putting his team back into safety.
Back into safety indeed, now past that halfway point in the match. Ops gonna try to make another goal happen. And now that 2-0 lead is going to be a lot tougher for UConn to come back from.
All right, so now, David, Mr. Haunts, I'm beginning my little New England heart, my team that I used to cheer for. I mean, if I'm being completely honest, if I had to cheer for a singular D1 school, and I have multiple times in the past growing up, it's UConn. It's certainly UConn. And I think my little husky heart might have to admit defeat here because Marquette, they're looking like an extremely well-rounded Rocket League team, not exactly giving UConn any opportunities to strike here in this game period. And, I mean, you got to give it up to Marquette this far. And, I mean, now the fact that UConn, they're actually going to be moving over into the Big East Conference. We could see some, you know, very heavy contests in the future between the two, and I'm going to admit defeat, but the Huskies might not. Still a 1-2 scoreline.
Yeah, a minute and a half left. Chirpa putting that goal in means that they're going to be able to potentially tie this game up with that minute and a half. UConn definitely not going to go down without a fight, like you mentioned, but maybe that Husky heart is going to grow a few times too big today.
Who knows? Who knows? I don't really know if the Huskies still have a chance of actually making it into playoffs, but a dub is a dub, my friend, and to, again, for them to go into the Big East and take down the #1 seed from the Big East, that would certainly give them a lot of momentum going into their eventual change of conferences. But yeah, for now things are tough. They still do have to fight tooth and nail here in this last minute to try to take this into a game number 5.
Yeah, a tough one indeed. Minute left, like you said, and now it is completely on the side of UConn to try to tie this up like it has been for the past 30 seconds here. But, you know, Marquette, I don't think they're going to try to go down without a fight. They know that they can try to make another score happen, but they also can just play a little bit of keep away. And now Nito Brito did actually make that score happen, so going to be a little rough.
Right. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, we have 2 New England-based commentators on the mic this weekend. You have myself, and also we have Meet and Greek chiming in for Championship Sunday with myself. So that'll be fun, but unfortunately, the very crucial puzzle piece connecting myself and Meet and Greek is going to be missing from that playoff spot, as officially the UConn Huskies, they're going to be eliminated from this tournament, from this playoff stage, as the ball goes back to the blue side. And David, again, my heart hurts, but it was quite the valiant effort. You got to give it up to these guys.
Yeah, for sure. Congratulations to Marquette for taking this win against the Huskies here, like you mentioned. And for now, we are going to cut to a quick break. Up next on the docket, we do have RIT versus Marquette University. RIT looking to try to take this win to go 3-1 in the bracket. So definitely something they need to make it out of this group. So don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back.